Hey everybody, how's it going today? Oh no, another one of these videos. Yeah, no, it's all right. We're just gonna talk about the voting process because we've covered the nomination process. If you don't know how to do that, well, it's too late to nominate this year. You could watch it next year. It's up, but it's up in the top left corner or right corner. I'm gonna put an info card up, is what I'm saying, so that you can see how to do the nomination process in case that's the video you're looking for. But this time, we're gonna go over the actual voting process, because the nominees have been announced and they're listed on the main page, but they're also listed on the voting page, so you can kind of see which ones have been voted for across these different categories. I have no idea who this guy is. Huh. Huh. Apparently I'm nominated. I never said that on this channel, did I? I should probably do a video on that or something. I'm so covering other topics. I don't even. It's like weird. But that's awesome. Thank you guys for whoever nominated me and stuff like that. But we're talking about voting here. So let's talk about voting here. So basically, this is the front page, main page of the Ursa Majors. You scroll to the right side of here, you have voting for 2017. So basically, you come to this page, and they'll actually list the nominees here as well. And this also. The voting is going to be this year up until March 31st, but it will tell you when the votes are due, and when it'll be closed. Actually, it does not in here, I don't think. Huh. Well, yes, but it is up until March. Oh no, here it is. It's right here. It's in green. It would jump out and bite me if I didn't see it. So it's underneath the link here. It says March 1st to the 31st. Usually they let you vote for a little longer than that, but this year they wanted to do it at FurDU, which is in May, so they need time to tabulate the votes. So that's unusual for this year. So basically what you do is you just put in your email here. As a critique, I would put that up top because it's the first thing you need. So basically you type in your email here, you go to your email and grab your key. So while I do that, and so I type in my email address here, and then while I grab my key and do that, I'm going to go to the end card for a little bit so that I can do that. And then you'd go and you'd get an email, and it's a UMA admin at chakatsden.com. The key comes from there. If you don't see it, then obviously you'd want to check your junk mail, spam mail, make sure that you allow them access. And then basically you can click, they'll give you a key or a link, and they'll give you both. So you can click on the link that they give you, and we will now go back to this thing here. Now, interestingly, let me go back to the front page because freaking this thing is like that. I'm going to make an edit there. So because it has your personal information up at the top, it'll basically say who you are registered as and stuff like that. I'm cutting that part out because obviously it has personal information on it. So here's what you have now. The cool thing is that they list out the nominees for you, so it's not like as difficult as the last one is to explain. Basically, you have your videos here, and you can pick which ones you like. So, if I wanted to vote this guy. So I'm not going to vote here publicly, but I will explain how the voting process works. So for instance, motion picture. Let's say, and this is what it's not called first past the post. So basically you get to pick 1, 2, and 3 and vote as a 1, 2, or 3 on the thing. I don't know if it has a check and a balance to make sure you're not selecting 2 ones like that. I've never tested that, but that's technically not how you're supposed to do it. You're supposed to do I like this one first, I like this one second, I like this one third, or something like that, or maybe like My Little Pony. Or if you've only seen 1 or 2 and you really liked one versus the other, then you can do 2. An interesting thing that Raukin did is on the nonfiction section, he was so let's go down to nonfiction. Nonfiction workouts, way at the bottom. He voted for Furry Nation as second, and then like he didn't vote for anything else. He didn't feel like this was great or he didn't feel like, oh man, I'm gonna put a 1 next to this thing. Technically, him putting it as a 2 is sort of a 1, I guess. I don't know how the thing. I think it's not first past the post, which is basically how elections usually work, where it's like you pick one guy, and then the guy with the most votes wins, something like that. It's more like a an Australian type of things. I'll look up the voting sort of nomenclature. I know CPG Gray or whoever his name is did a bunch of videos on the different styles of voting system, but this is more of a merit vote, like some of a. It's what's considered the optimal voting system. A lot of democratic societies will probably move toward it. So it definitely is an awesome voting system that they picked, where each like maybe every number 1 gets so many votes, and so many number 2s get so many votes, and so many number 3s get so many points, and then whoever has the most points at the end of it wins. I think that's sort of how it goes. I guess I can. Oh, that's hard. Night in the Woods versus Sonic Mania. Those are both very good. Oh, they're both so very good. I don't know. That one I could spend hours contemplating. And then you got, Dog Patch, Flayra. I will not. Dog Patch will probably win. But obviously, and then Furry, ES, and then like these guys. I work for Flayra, just as a disclaimer, and also one of mine here is the 3 Ursa Major victories. One is also mine, which is up for voting. So yeah, I mean that's things. So for nonfiction, I mean since I do nonfiction, I guess I'll go over which ones I'm going to do. No, just no on that one. I don't know how that one won the shocking furry fandom conversation. Like, ugh, who the heck nominated that? It's surprising how little nominations there actually were. I'm guessing because my video when it hit Ursa Major, when it got the Ursa Major nomination, only had 115 views or something like that. So you got to think about it's like only 13 thumbs ups on the like button. So, to me, that just sort of shows it's like not a lot of people nominate as many as we like to think as a fandom because we present this as awards. And it might be that our fandom might not be as good as partaking in knowledge and unifying under something and showing like, hey, this is something cool that our community does and things like that. Which I think is nonfiction is actually really important because like I was doing an interview this week too. So if you want to see a fursuit video of mine this week, I'm gonna put a card up on the top left, right here, where I was interviewing another furry about my particular YouTube channel, and I told him I did write editing for Flayra.com, and they're like a furry news site, and they're like, oh, I didn't even realize there was a furry news site, and I said, yeah, there's several now. There's like 3 or 4 at this point. So, furries like to create things, and because of that, I think that they don't think about something actually existing and coming together as a community sometimes. That's just sort of a critique I have. But I think Furry Nation was great. By the way, Ralkin voted it a 2 because of the whole, like, how dare having a chapter about spirituality or something. Oh my gosh, he's such an anti-theist. It is maddening sometimes. Like he literally like hates that. Like the first time I learned about that was when that My Little Pony had an episode with Pinkie Pie and like Twilight Sparkle, and Twilight was trying to figure out the Twitch thing and she couldn't figure it out, and then the whole lesson was like maybe we don't have to explain everything and just maybe you don't have to have a scientific explanation for everything in the world. And then like Ralkin like tore his hair out over that episode. It was kind of interesting. But anyways, I like that one. 2, 3. Yeah, as a nonfiction person, I probably should be like voting on it. I'm not voting for myself on it because Like, for one, I've got to say, like, it doesn't take long to produce my videos. It takes a lot longer for people to write it down and put it into a book and stuff like that. And I kind of feel it's sort of unfair, like, to me. Like, I don't know. Like, that's just how I'm going to vote. Being nominated is an honor in and of itself, and I don't expect to win this. I expect Furry Nation to win it, and the amount of effort they take. I am not because here's the thing: if I'm gonna be continuing in my nonfiction work and doing nonfiction things, I expect that one of my works will be up here again in the future, and it'll probably be one that's worth winning. So that's just my take on it. And by the way, like, the Ursa Majorly Painful Victories, I don't think was my best work for that year. I think some of my best work for that year was the Two Griffin Death of the Fandom video was my best video, I think, of the year. And then if I were to say, like, the best nonfiction work I did of the year was probably the coverage of, Midwest Fur Fest, victory, becoming the largest furry convention over Anthrocon, as far as the best nonfiction work I did for the year, as far as that. So, like, I don't even think it's my best work. So, like, I'm not gonna vote for it. But you can if you want. You can if you want. Don't take my judgment. It's like, what do I do now? I really like this kangaroo, so I want to vote for his thing. But he doesn't want to even vote for his own thing. So what do I do? Don't worry. Do what you want to do. This one I'm going to spend some time thinking about. Between Sonic Mania and Night in the Woods, it's going to be hard. Cuphead is not... It's a great game, and it's beautifully animated, and, some of the enemies are anthropomorphic, I suppose, but, like, as far as, like... That's the whole, like, anthropomorphic thing. That's a whole other thing, other can of worms when we were talking about Ursa Major voting. It's like... this is a great game, but is it anthropomorphic? Or at least it is anthropomorphic because they're anthropomorphic cups, but, like, furries have, like, it's supposed to be somewhat of a furry awards. I guess it's anthropomorphic, like, but Ursa Majors is about anthropomorphism, so that's sort of where the, yeah, definitely that. But other than that, I don't know between those two. But anyways, basically you would vote, and by the way, you don't have to vote on any of them. As an example, if you haven't read all these novels, don't feel free to vote on any of them. If you read one of the novels and you really like the novel, feel free to vote for it. If you read two of the novels, then obviously you'd have a judgment call. So you can go, yeah, this one, and then no, that one, and then, you can do whatever, you can do everything you want. You want nothing, you can vote. I guess you can vote too on something and not vote for anything else, that like Raukin did with the nonfictions. And those certain points would count towards other things. So, in essence, you go through, you do all that, you vote on all those things. And by the way, I do have to mention here, website. For the past 6 years, this is one of the biggest newses about the nominee winnings of the year, I think. Like, one of the biggest things. Furfinity's not on here at all. And they won the website for the year. They actually won it for the past, 4 or 5 years. And the fact that they're not even on here at all, it means that E621 is probably going to win this year. Because E621 always came in second. So, it's interesting. It's interesting for sure. But, I mean, we can go over that on another video at some point. So after you're done, you click submit your votes, and your votes are done. That's it. Easy peasy lemon squeezy. So much easier than nominating, isn't it? Because nominating, you have to kind of have an idea on it. So that's always the thing you can do is, if you don't know, what the best things are of the year, you can, abstain from nominating and then sort of, go ahead and, just let other people nominate. And then of the things you nominate, you can spend some time, watching and reading everything. And the problem is that when... The problem is that when it comes to the written works, obviously it takes longer to consume such products. So you can consume short fiction for sure. You can consume all 5 short fictions in one in 1 month. If you put your mind to it, you're not going to be able to do that with the novels. I don't think, unless you're one of them crazy speed readers. Which, by the way, there's one crazy speed reader I know that's has a GoFundMe page currently having to deal with he's having teeth issues, trying to get trying to get his chompers to work again. Yeah, poor dude. See if you can go help him if you can. I'll put a link in the description below for that guy. But he's a pretty prolific reader. Like, he buys books by the truckload. It's like, man, I wish I gotta learn how to speed read. I really do. It'd be very helpful. It's a very useful tool. So I think that, like, if you can learn to speed read, that's awesome. Only he'd be able to read through all 5 of those novels. But anyways, I'm blabbering at this point. So yeah, go ahead and vote. Get the vote done and get it done. Get her done. That's it. I'm getting the hop out of here. Click that like, click the subscribe button, kick a comment in the comment section. What are you voting for on the Ursa Majors? If you want to share your votes, you can. You don't have to hide it from everyone. I'm not hiding the nonfiction one because obviously that's sort of something I'm experienced in. For this game, man, I don't know. I'm thinking that's it. I'm thinking Night in the Woods is number 1, Sonic Mania is number 2, and Sonic Star Fox 2. Because Night in the Woods, by the way, Night in the Woods was the very first game I streamed on this channel. I did a stream of Night in the Woods and Sonic Mania. I never got to play Star Fox 2, but I think it's better than Yooka-Laylee, at least from like my understanding of it. I never played Yooka-Laylee either, and I haven't played Cuphead, but I hear it's really good. But I like furry things more than anthropomorphic cups, but. Yeah, and that's kind of that whole, like, where does your idea of anthropomorphism fall into things? And that's sort of where you can get a little bit. So website, yeah, all right, I'll continue doing this, and I'll vote for him, but you should vote yourself. What will I vote for website? It will forever be a mystery. Anyways, thank you very much for watching. Getting the hop out of here. Be sure to kick that like, kick the subscribe button, kick a comment in the comment section. We went through all this. Have a good afternoon or day or whatever time of day it is where you happen to live. That'd be good. Remember, you have until March 31st. You have until this Saturday to get the voting done. So get it done. Get it done.